A long, long time ago, in the town of Namon, on Danu Day, a girl, Chunhyangga, a matchless beauty, was on a swing holding a silk rope, while her maid Hyangdan pushed. Chunhyangga was swinging higher and higher, back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. And she said to Hyangdan, "Look at the flowers in bloom and smell the scent of the flowers. It's so sweet. I feel so like a butterfly." And Hyangdan said to Chunhyangga, "Yes, you are flying now, but you are even more beautiful than a butterfly." In the distance, a handsome young man was watching Chunhyangga. His name was Idoryang. He was the son of the governor of Namon, and he called his servant Bangja to come. "Yeah, Bangjaya! Bangjaya!" And Bangja ran to Idoryang, and Idoryang asked him, "Who's that girl on the swing? She's so beautiful." And Bangja said, Oh, I cannot see anything. You idiot, look over there. There's a girl, so she's so beautiful. She looks like Jennifer. And Bangja said, "Yes, her name is not Jennifer, and her name is Chunhyangga." "Oh, Chunhyangga, fragrance of spring, even her name is so beautiful. Bring me Chunhyangga right now." Bangja ran and ran, and he's leaping from rock to rock, and he reached where Chunhyangga was. And he said, "My name is Bangja. My master Idoryang is the most brilliant and handsome man in Namon. He wants to see you right now. Let's go." But Chunhyangga looked at Bangja with a big smile, and she said, "Go and tell him the flower doesn't follow the butterfly. Butterfly should follow the flower."
Global performing storyteller Kim Seung-ah combines Korean traditional culture with diverse art genres.
Mukashi, once upon a time, deep in the forest of Gyeonggi, Okina, an old bamboo craftsman, was cutting down wood.
Her performances convey the depth and beauty of Korean culture to global audiences. She has drawn the spotlight not only from the general public, but also from storytellers all over the world.
Hello, viewers from Heart to Heart. Well, she's so amazing because she tells her story with expression, love, and passion.
안녕하세요. Hi, Seung-ah. It's Liz and Bob, your storytelling friends in New Mexico, here to wish you good fortune and a wonderful adventure on your storytelling tour of the world.
Today on Heart to Heart, global performing storyteller Kim Seung-ah. So we'll get into the details in just a bit, but something that also caught my attention is your name, because I introduced you or said hello by saying Seung-ah. That is the way it's pronounced in Korean, so it's Kim Seung-ah. But the way you introduced your name slightly sounded different to me.
Yes. Because I used to use English name, but I thought myself, because I introduced Korean culture, even my name could be Korean culture.
Yes.
So it should be a Korean culture. That's why I started to ask my friends to call me, by Korean name. So, but it's very hard for them to pronounce my name Seung-ah. So I started to introduce my name like Sing, And then people, got my name so quickly.
Yes.
So that's why I started to call my name Seung-ah.
I think that was a genius idea. Seung-ah. Yes, it sounds very similar to your true, Korean name Seung-ah, and it's so much easier to pronounce and remember as well. Seung-ah. Could you tell us about the difference between the type of storytelling you do, performing storytelling, and just the ordinary way of telling a story, like our parents tell us stories, or like the way our grandmothers or grandparents tell us folklores? What is the difference? How different is it?
Actually, I think the purpose will be the same, but the way we deliver the story is different because, in front of your children, you feel more comfortable. You will be more comfortable.
Yes.
And also, as a teacher to your students, you have very personal connection with the people. But as a performer, when I tell stories in front of the people, mostly, the audience and me, it's the first time to meet each other. So that's why I have to make a quick personal connection with them.
Yes.
So that's why it needs a lot of skills. That's why I've learned how to make good connection or quick connection with the audience.
Yes.
So I think that's the way we, the performing storytellers do, to make, quick and good connection with people.
The older brother got so angry. What? A plot of land? Where did you get the land?
بس الأخ الكبير غضب وقال له منين جات لك قطعة الأرض دي؟
She jumped with joy and exclaimed, "What a beautiful baby! Our life begins anew." This time there came out a big monster. Norbu, you did such a... I'm sorry. You did such a bad thing. I know everything. I'm here to punish you.
I also heard that your performances or your performing storytelling events, they're very colorful. You offer your audience a very colorful and insightful story or many stories of the Korean culture and traditions. Now, what motivated you to begin to do this? How did you start doing this?
Actually, when I was a child, baby, I was a baby who cried a lot. And my grandmother, she used to tell me a story to soothe my crying because she read so many books. So she knew tons of stories. So since I was little, I heard a lot of stories from my grandmother. And in 2009, when she passed away, I realized that she gave me, blessed heritage. I was like a kind of heiress. So that, okay, I would like to share my treasure with all the people in the world. So I started to think, okay, sharing stories will be a good idea to share my love and also my grandmother's love.
Oh, that's very sweet, very touching. Now, what else is quite interesting is that before becoming a global performing storyteller, I understand that you worked as an English instructor for many years. So tell us about that. You were once a teacher, and now you are a storyteller. So what made you quit your job to become a performing storyteller? Yeah, I really loved my job as a teacher because I, enjoy teaching and I love, children. But in a way, storytellers are also teachers. But my students are more, foreigners.
at the moment, I taught, Korean students English, but now I'm teaching Korean culture to foreigners. So, and then I thought, at the moment, there are so many native, speakers came to Korea to teach English.
Yes.
And then I said, okay, I'm Korean English teacher. So maybe I have to switch my job because this is the thing I can do because I'm Korean. So I thought it's a, blue ocean for me to become a storyteller rather than, stay in, English teacher because there are so many native speakers who can teach English, better than me.
Yeah.
But I think as a storyteller who introduced Korean culture, maybe it's a kind of, rare position. So yeah, that's why.
Was the switch difficult at all? Switching from being a teacher, you still are a teacher, as you said,
Yes.
but from teaching English to students, and now, I guess, introducing and teaching Korean culture to a global audience.
Yes.
How was it for you? Was it an easy transaction or kind of difficult? Or was it fun?
In a way, at the beginning, I have to invest all the money I earned from teaching English to this because I have to be an artist.
I see.
As an artist, I have to spend a lot of time to practice the art.
Yes.
At the same time, at the beginning, I always say people, if you think of Korean wave, we can divide into two eras, before Psy and after Psy. So before Psy, not many people, knew about Korea. That's why it was very difficult for me to introduce Korean culture. That's why I have to pay for the flight tickets and pay for the accommodations and everything. Also, it took me 5 years to finish a storyteller's course in Canada. So I had to go back and forth from Korea to Canada, from Canada to Korea. But in a way, I have to also learn so many things about different culture. So I had to visit different countries. That's why I visited many countries to learn more about their culture. Because when I introduce Korean culture, I have to know about their culture too.
Yes.
For example, if you think of the Korean creation myth, the bear woman, maybe to children in America, maybe I can say just a bear was transformed into a woman. But in Europe, they love more artistic way. And then I have to say, oh, the bear woman felt something different, and then she touched her arms and hair, and
right.
I have to do it more artistic way. So to me, to transform from English teacher into an artist has taught me many things, even about myself. Then through that process, I've learned who I am.
I see.
And I've learned what I love. I've learned what I can do. So I think if I just stayed in as a storyteller, as an English teacher, and maybe I could not meet, my audience, my friends, and also I could not know about myself.
So it sounds like not only do you give, you tell beautiful stories, but you have also gained from each and every one of your experiences, which I think is a wonderful thing. Now, moving on to sharing the Korean culture to the world. Of course, there are many different ways of introducing the Korean culture and traditions to people overseas. One way is through photographs. Another may be through hands-on experience programs. I guess you can also take people to the locations. There are many different ways, but I think this is a very creative way, a very dynamic way to teach people about the Korean culture. So what does the global audience think about the idea of learning about our culture, the Korean culture and traditions through your method, through performing storyteller?
Yeah. Actually, storytelling is a communication heart to heart. So, for example, if they learn Korean culture, by reading books, it doesn't mean that, they will be touched by the book. But stories always, make, deep and, how do you say, deep connection with people. That's why when I tell stories, people started to, fall in love with Korean culture immediately because they can feel that how much I love Korea and Korean culture. And at the same time, they can feel how much I love them.
How much you love your audience.
Yeah, because, if you don't love somebody, you cannot tell a story to them, or her or him. For example, if you have a friend, and then if you don't like him or her, maybe you might think, oh, I won't tell him or her anymore.
I think I know. It's like you want to get it over with. You want to finish telling the story very, very fast and the briefest way possible. But if you care about your audience, the person you are telling the story to, you want to add all the tiniest details to your story, right?
So they can feel my love through my eyes, my voice, and my gesture. And at the same time, I'm always tell stories which I love. So that's the most important thing to me. So that immediately they can feel all the feelings and I think that's the pure heart. So even though it is not fancy, or even though it is not like a kind of big stars performance, like size performance, whatever, but my performance can deliver the truth of the people, truth of the history, truth of Korean culture in my own way. So that's why I think it makes people touched.
Yes, I'm sure. I mean, it sounds like you really enjoy your job. You love your job. So you have been introducing our culture, Korean culture, our history, as well as traditions to a global audience. And I'm curious, what was the most fulfilling moment or the most memorable moment doing what you do?
Actually, there are so many because I'm doing what I love. I love what I'm doing. And I've met so many wonderful people. Now they became my family and friends. And because we shared many things through stories. For example, in Singapore, after my show, an old woman jumped on to me, and then she kissed me all over my face.
My goodness.
And then she hugged me so tight. And then she reminded me of my, grandmother. And I thought, I talked to myself, Seung-ah, now you have a new grandmother here.
Seung-ah is a very sweet person. She's very nice, and she smiles all the time. I love that about her. And she's a very easy person to talk to. She's very generous also. She gave me actually 3 of her bookmarks here. 사랑해, Seung-ah. And 감사합니다 for coming to Iran and sharing your culture and your stories with me.
She's a wonderful person, always willing to help and share her knowledge. I'm glad I've been able to attend her performance in Athens, and it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that meeting her changed my life.
Seung-ah's storytelling performance is really full of Korean culture and always attract audience. Her full of feeling will never be unforgettable and will definitely promote Korea culture to the world.
Seung-ah. And who better than you, Seung-ah, with your commitment, your drive, dedication, your passion, your energy, your personality to be a cultural ambassador for your country. We can't wait. Good fortune and a wonderful adventure on your storytelling tour of the world.
Bye, hope to see you again. Come to Singapore, visit me. I'll cook more dishes for you.
Is there any advice that you can give to our viewers that are watching right now who might be thinking, yeah, I think I might want to become, a performing storyteller? Do you have any advice for people that would love to have this profession, that would love to become a storyteller?
Yes, after Psy, because of Korean Way, people really want to learn more about Korean culture. Also, in Korea, we put a lot of effort and money to learn English.
Yes.
I think this is one of the best ways. Use English for benefits of Korea or benefits for the world. So I would like to say, if you want to become a storyteller, just to do it. And then as time goes by, it gives you more, good things to you. For example, I can see many, storyteller teachers of mine. They are in 70s and 80s. Still, they are so active. They are so beautiful. They are so charming. For example, 2 years ago, when I performed in Greece, I sent an email to my teacher in Canada, and then she said, "Oh, then we'll be close because we are planning to go to Balkan." So then she told me they studied a book with 1,000 pages about Balkan. So they visited the place because they want to make a performance to people to introduce more culture about Balkan. So I think they are still, active, and they are so, how do you say, passionate. Yeah. So I think nowadays people live very long. Maybe 100 years.
Yes. We're reaching 100.
Yeah, more than that. Then every day we storytellers live very, happily because there are so many things to learn. Even, I talk to my hands. I talk to my, cells in my body. It's a lot of fun to make something little more meaningful in our life.
I see. Wow. Okay. Now, it's been nearly 10 years, or has it been 10 years since you became a storyteller?
Yeah, I celebrated my 10th anniversary in Canada.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And I heard that you're preparing, or you're planning a very special event or project.
Yes.
Could you tell us about that project?
After 10 years, I've met so many people who love Korean culture. And now I'd like to introduce Korean culture to 1 million people in the world.
Wow. Okay.
And also I'd like to establish Korea Storytelling Foundation and Storytelling Center. But it takes a lot of money.
Yes.
Then I said to people, if 1 million people donate $1 each, then I will get $1 million. Then I will donate $1 million to establish Storytelling Center and Foundation in Korea, so that I can introduce Korean culture more to the world. At the same time, in the center, we can educate people to learn more about Korean culture. That's the way we can globalize Korean culture. At the same time, storytellers from all of the world can stay in the center because we are thinking of making guest house there. Guest rooms, and then they can stay there for free if they want to study more about Korean culture. At the same time, they will perform to introduce their own culture. This is the way we can exchange our culture, we can share our culture and stories. This is my dream and project. So I announced this project to people, and they really are excited about it.
I hope that your audience, every single one of them, does find hope in themselves. I do want to thank you once again for your time, and we hope that you continue to spread the beauty of the Korean culture, our history and traditions through the art of storytelling, and we wish you the best of luck with your project and your hopes of actually opening up a storytelling center very, very soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
감사합니다.
감사합니다.